Well, I'm going to be taking a quick look at a few things here. I'll try to go fast. And don't believe me, y'all. Seek for yourself. What makes sense to you? What's in your memory? I came to the changes before I ever came to realizing 9/11, moon landing, shape of the earth. When I seen the U disappear out of my Colombian coffee, then I found out that it never had one. Going back all the way through time, regardless of brand, regardless of where it came from, the U just poof, disappeared, changed to an O. And then I noticed some Bible changes, like I say, before I realized that I wasn't on a ball. A lot of people come to the realization of where they live, and still there's some that don't realize that where they live is ever changing. There's something going on that no one can explain. Our reality is changing. Ink on paper is changing. Lines in movies are changing. Even geographical areas are changing. Logos changing. No one knows. If they say they do, they're lying to you. But anyhow, this one right here, this verse I mentioned, Luke 14:26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Now, I don't recall it actually reading like that, but there's one word I want to highlight, and it's in every other version of the Bible. Hate. I recall that being forsake. Why would you have to hate your parents, your wife, your children, your brothers, your sisters? Why would you have to hate them? You forsake them. Turn away from them. That word hate was never there. And anybody with Bible understanding should know that was forsake. Now let's look at Genesis 1:1. Right off the bat, very first verse. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Right down below it, the next verse is capitalized. And have you not noticed how the Bible used to, when it referred to God or Jesus, in the he or him, it was always capital letter? Not anymore. Now let's add an S for heavens. If he only created the heaven, then where did all these other heavens come from? If he only created the heaven. But people, they breeze right past that one. They don't get it. And in my last video, I made mention to this after I posted the video. Just looking at this card that I had printed up, I only recalled it having 2 lines. I kept looking at that and looking at that. in my memory now, don't believe me. And that word called the Word of God. I've heard so many people read this online over the past few years, and they never said the word called. You remove that word called, it would only have 2 lines. I don't know. And this one here, John 5:43. I believe we are seeing the fulfillment of that right before our very eyes. I am come in my Father's name. So in other words, you come in Jesus' name or the Father's name. If you believe in the Trinity, they're the same. And ye receive me not. If another shall come in my name, or in his own name, him you will receive. Whose name is plastered all over this earth? Who has such a big ego? And I don't see how he can fit one of them red hats on his head. It's so big. And so-called Christians, so-called followers of Christ, turn their back on Christ and follow a man to save them. We are foreseeing this fulfilled in Donald Trump. That's just my opinion. That verse right there. So many have been led astray. The Vicar of Christ, the Pope. Now, if he's a spokesperson for Jesus on earth, why is not the Pope mentioned in any Bible? Things that make you go, Besides not being found in any Bible, the Pope, they all go against a commandment of God when they call him Father. Did you have time to read that? Okay, let me try to finish this up. That's King James. That's one I've had for, I don't know, 30-some years. Almost 40 years, King James. These other 3 I've never read. They came from the Goodwill because they give them away, and I wanted to reference some things from time to time. This is a children's Bible. It's not even listed on the blue letter. It's kind of different. Young Discoverer's Bible, and that is a New King James Bible. Now, there was this big thing here a while back about Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John changing to Saint Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. None of the other versions that I could tell do that. They remain. This is a King James Bible. Let's see if I can open up to one of them here. Okay. Matthew is still Matthew, not a saint. All these others that I'm looking up top here, they say Matthew. Now, let me just push that over. This is my oldest one. When that thing's, people said that it changed from when the saint got in front of it, this one changed. But that never did have a saint. Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, but they're all got the Saint Matthew, Saint Mark, Saint Luke, Saint John. And here's another one that I wanted to point out, that the blue letter doesn't show it, and no other Bible that I can find shows it. let's see, I only got the first word in every chapter is all capitalized. Let's see if I can find the start of a chapter. The whole word is capitalized. Let's go over here. It's the same in both of my King James. All right over here. That's a short word, but it doesn't matter what the word is. They all have changed to all capital letters. But it's not so in any other Bible. Just the King James. To me, that is a recent change. But, whatever. What can we do about it? Nothing, but it's very important to realize that the reality you find yourself in is ever changing. And I do believe they're connected because around the same time frame, people were waking up to the shape of the earth and waking up to the reality change, the physical changes. I don't expect anybody to believe me, but I got a neighbor who lives down the way. I look out the window all the time. And sometime, good couple of years ago, there was always a hedge line across his back of his property. I could not see anything behind it, the property behind it. Got up one day, and that hedge line was just gone. Did he cut it down? I don't know. I never seen him cut it down. I never seen any remains of any hedge line, but it's gone today. And if you was to ask him, I guarantee you he'd say, "You're crazy. There never was." That's how this works. It is just bizarre. People are noticing changes in their relatives, in their family members. Maybe it's not due to the jibby jab. Maybe it's due to something else. Because people were noticing that before the jibby jab. Love y'all. Down the road.